Welcome to Tomato, Puppies, and Everything Gardening. I'm Heather. Got my cat here, Geoffrey, on my lap. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Today is November 28th, and I've taken a couple weeks off to not really focus on the garden or the work I need to do for my HOA to be in compliance for their rules. But today I'm going to take a walk around, make a list, a mental list. Actually, it'll be like a vlog kind of list. But so we're going to do that. It'll be like a garden tour slash what do I need to get done this week video. And yeah, so I guess that's it. Tonto's pretty much back to normal. Everyone in the household's pretty much recovered from that last cold that went through the house. Thanksgiving is over now, so it's time to get back to work. So join me. Let's get started and see what I can get done today. I'm starting on the back deck, and look at this ice plant. It is gorgeous. I love the way it is drooping down, cascading. I think this is a pink ice plant, but I can't remember. It might be purple, but I think it's pink. And I've got my lettuces starting to look real pretty. This is the wild, it's the wildflower blend. Strawberries, then the baby strawberries. They're getting big. Oh, looks like that one might die though. It's okay. We got plenty, and there's some more up here. Little kale baby. And this is my deck planter that I have celery, lettuce, a couple kale babies back there. I did not get to deliver that over Thanksgiving because of all the illnesses that had been going around. We decided not to get together. Still getting a few strawberries. This is a rose cutting experiment in this poor pot of impatiens that died, and I have a pansy stuck in there too to take its place. But some of the first round of rose cuttings, I tried to root them in water. They did start to grow some growth, so I brought them out here and I stuck some in these pots. This has been like, I don't know, over a month or so ago. Most died, but there are a couple here and there actually have growth. So I am hopeful to see what happens. There are some camellias back there. I think I'll do a camellia video one day because we have quite a few. I used to have some heucheras back in there, but I think my husband killed them with all the leaves. Okay, let's see. Well, I just absolutely love this wildfire lettuce from Johnny's. I'm not trying to be a salesman. It's just so pretty, and it's went through many days of lows in the 20s. No protection, doing great. This one is, I think it's called Walton. I'll look that up. I could be saying it wrong. Not faring as well, and that is supposed to be a heat tolerant lettuce. I tried to grow it in June as an experiment. It did not do well. I don't think it likes the cold too much either. But look at that. This is another wildflower. That looks gorgeous. Up on the deck, I haven't made it very far yet, but I am pausing the video so that you don't have to see me just walking. I know that's pretty boring. But this red bee balm is doing really well in these little pots. I dug these guys up to pot them in case we move sooner than next spring or summer. And they look pretty happy. Now this cat mint, it's supposed to be cat mint. I bought the seeds for cat mint, and I just got an email last week from Renee's Garden. They said they had a mix-up, and they gave me a refund, but I know this is a type of mint, I'm just not sure which, and they didn't tell me what might have been in my package, so I'm going to email them later today and see. But it's growing, whatever it is. There is Mr. Tonto in his favorite seat, his little corner spot on the deck. I think he's got his nose up in the air looking at something. But I am now down on the lower deck. And I noticed the other day, this fern is dead. Now I had 2 plants in this pot. I had, I think it's Purple Palace, but I could be wrong, Corabelle or Heuchera. And I had bought a fern that I thought would look pretty with it. It was a purpley colored fern. I think it was called Japanese silver fern, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's died, so that means it was probably an annual, and I thought it was a perennial fern. So I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. But my $2 clearance fern from like 2 summers ago is looking gorgeous. He is a perennial. I mean, if you had seen him when I got him off the clearance rack at Lowe's for $2, you would have thought I was crazy for buying it. But look at it. It is huge now. I absolutely love him so much. Bunching onions seem to be okay in their new location. They used to be out front on my front walkway by the front of the house. I think they're getting too much sun now. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with them, but I wanted to show you guys this. So I just potted these guys, I think, yesterday afternoon. After I harvest a bunching onion, I leave the root intact, and then I put it in water, and you will get new shoots, new growth. So this one is farther along. These were on my kitchen windowsill yesterday, and I just brought them out here and stuck them in the dirt. The baby spinach, actually, it looks okay, but it doesn't look great. I don't know if they're getting too much heat or too much sun. I know we had that week of really cold weather, but now it's getting warm again. So I may just give them some fertilizer and see what happens, but they're really slow growing. Looks like I put a strawberry that I had eaten. The top part with the little seeds, I must have potted that in there because I've got a bunch of baby strawberries. And that pea plant is still doing good. The strawberry plant's still doing good. This is actually a lavender, a rose-colored lavender that I started from seed, probably July, just as an experiment because I couldn't get my spring lavender to grow or germinate, and that one did. So maybe that's the trick. Start them in the middle of the summer. There is Geoffrey looking exceptionally chunky today. Right, buddy? Green stalk number 1. I have not purchased another yet. I really, really want one, but I want it to be a super good price. I didn't think the Black Friday price was that great because it wasn't really the size I needed. I wanted the smaller leaf size, not the big, taller ones. Here's my other green stalk. Parsley looks good. I've got a bunch of little seedlings on the top level here. Let's see. I know I have flowers and arugula and other stuff that I can't remember. That nasturtium still looks great because he had cover and protection for like 7 to 10 days when we were getting those really cold nights. I haven't had to cover anything for the last 3 or 4 nights. It's been nice and warm. Roman chamomile. I was doing an experiment. I normally plant thyme with my strawberries, but I did an experiment with this row of strawberries to see if the Roman chamomile would help with pest control. Thyme works great. Not sure yet. This is an experiment. We'll see next year how things are going. Let's see. I see a bunch of little not strawberries, carrots. And I see peas. See little baby peas. So these are carrots I planted, and also carrots I transplanted from that bed I had to take down. Yep, there's some peas over there too. My planter of Swiss chard looks so much better after I went through, gave a lot of new soil, pruned out a lot of stuff, trimmed all the Swiss chard, and rotated so that only Swiss chard was facing the house because I didn't want Tonto to pee on the Swiss chard. These pots I found out front and just moved them here because, no, actually these were not from out front, but they were relocated. There's some calendula in the front of this planter. This blueberry slash strawberry bed looks very rough, but it's almost winter, so. And all of the strawberries here are runners that came off of those pots that I had. So I didn't technically plant them, they planted themselves. We'll see how they do next spring. Some more heuchera. There's that pot I got on clearance. I haven't figured out what to do with it yet. And my camellias. They do have a lot of blossoms. You can see a little bit of color there. This one must be the red. And this must be the white. And this is just a pot of pink forget-me-nots that will bloom the second year, not this past year. So I can't wait to see the colors on those. I'm just basically using them as a living mulch for my camellias to keep the soil moist. I don't know if that's working or not. Probably not. It was probably a bad idea, but we shall see. I mean, they look healthy-ish. This one looks kind of bare. Forgot the name of this one. Like I said, I will do a camellia video one day. These are some canterbury bells that will bloom the second year also. Then I've got a heuchera there and another heuchera there that looks pretty much like he's dying. Poor thing. Sweet alyssum. I transplanted some Swiss chard here, and it did actually take, but only because the trees have all lost their leaves. Otherwise this bed gets more shade than it should. Strawberries, we transplanted a couple, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. A couple spinaches back there and some peas. I only see 2 spinach. It looks like the others are probably dead because I'm still having squirrels digging in the bed. As you can see, look at that peat back there. His whole little pod area is exposed because of squirrels. Kohlrabi looks not sure how they will do. These are Brussels sprouts. That's my biggest one to date. Getting ready to open up a calendula here. I moved, looks like I moved a calendula and some snapdragon. Trying to organize some of the pots from out front so that I can store them under the deck. And here are my little broccolis in the tall raised bed area that we worked on a few weeks ago. Looks like they're pretty happy. And remember the pea carrot transplant experiment? I would say it was a success. I'm pretty sure I can actually see a blossom trying to open right in there maybe. But everything's still green, looks nice. Gosh, it's probably been 3 weeks, right? A little bit of the sweet alyssum I transplanted survived. And there is the bed of radishes that we planted. These peas I planted, I can't remember, but they got a head start on all my other peas. So they finally have blossoms. Doing okay. Tonto loves peas though, and these are on the fence where he can reach them. We will see what happens. He's like a little pea thief. I seeded this entry into the raised bed area, I think 2 days ago. And I'm going to work my way back all the way to the fence back there. This was just, this has been Saturday, so no activity there, but look at this. You see the clover, and then I also have the little short grasses growing. So I'm really anxious to see how this turns out. This area has some growth, but not as much. And I think it was probably 5 to 7 days or so after I worked on that top area I just showed you. So I did actually come out here Saturday and work. So let me show you what I worked on Saturday, which was this area. It's nice and mulched, weeded. I'm hoping, I left the holy basil here with all the seeds. And I'm hoping to have like just a nice little drift of holy basil again in this area. I did divide the penstemon and I potted up half, and it looks like it's fine. I don't see any signs of death. I'm going to build that butterfly bench and put it right here, which I do have it. I found it for a fairly good price, but it was white. I didn't want white, so I'm going to spray paint it a dark purple. I relocated a couple pots here, but I still think it looks okay. Mulched, kind of left off right there Saturday. So this is where I need to pick up. There's some oregano. I left 3 pots here. I thought they looked okay. Hopefully these are acceptable, because I've got my pretty lilac in that one. These yarrow I put into the ground. They were in pots right here in the same location. I would like some ideas of what you would like me to seed here. Something that will overwinter in seed form and then sprout in the spring. I'm thinking I may just put some poppies, because I'm going to have a ton of larkspur everywhere else. Yeah, I think we'll do poppies. So I haven't mulched here yet because I want to seed with the flower seeds. There's the rosemary getting huge. So I guess I need to mulch this area too, but I may just leave the leaves. I'm fine with that. I don't know if the HOA is fine with that. I will leave the coneflowers for the birds. I'm kind of debating working on doing something with the zinnia, because they do look kind of ugly. I may cut them to maybe, I don't know, weed whack them, mow them. We'll see. I noticed there's a bunch of seedlings right here, and I'm not sure what they are. I think I'm just going to leave them and see what happens. And there's the blue flax. So this is where I've left off with my HOA work. I need to pick back up. I'm trying to make like a little wave pattern here. It'll end right there, and all of that will be the microclover grass blend to match everything else up the driveway there. And then all the other areas will be mulched and flower beds with a few pots here and there, which I feel like I don't have that many, but we will see. I've got lots of California poppies popping up everywhere. I'm really happy about that, and I think I will throw some seeds out as well. Yarrow looks nice. This is the pot we worked on, I guess a couple weeks ago. That day I was kind of sick and it was raining. I did have a couple of these pansies. The lavender, I was worried about it. I think it looks okay. And I'm going to leave most of this to overwinter for the birds and the insects. Now we're at one of my big front beds. Guess I need to take this down now because Halloween is over, Thanksgiving is over. I really need to weed. There's a lot of seedlings in here, but there's also weeds in here. It's always hard to tell what is a weed, what is a flower. This is a flower, and these are larkspur or nigella. I always get them confused because they're so close. I'm pretty sure it is larkspur. So I will leave all of those, of course. And no, this is a weed. This kind of looks like it might be something, but I'm pretty sure it's a weed. That looks like larkspur, baby. So this front bed is a mess, of course. The pineapple sage has died. It's so sad. The African blue basil has died. Oh, there's a bee right there. I guess they're so used to coming here that they don't know what to do. They still think it's home. Oh, poor guy. The cabbages on the front side have been growing despite the cold we had. And my artichokes, they look a little rough. I really didn't mean for them to be in a pot over this winter. I thought we would have moved by now, but we haven't, and they're in a pot. So we will see. It's an experiment. We will see what happens. They really should be in the ground. Got some giant red mustards in here. Ouch. You can see the spikes on the artichokes. They do hurt, and they make really good deer barriers. But when the leaves start to die, you just pull them off, like this one back here. Ouch. So maybe the mustard, maybe that'll be big enough to eat here soon. Some snapdragons. Painted daisies will bloom second year, which will be next summer for me. Got a bunch of wallflowers that are blooming, thankfully, to have some color. What else? It's kind of a mess. It's a dreary mess. I don't really have much in here in this big pot except for snapdragons and some onions. All of the onions in this big container are just onions that I took out of the pantry, chopped off the root base, and planted it in the ground, and then it grows a whole new onion. Yeah, everything is just so dreary. So dreary. There's one of the marigolds that I love so much this summer. It's dead. Everything is pretty much dead. Although the Sibylla looks pretty. That does look pretty. Some pink woolly grass that I planted in the ground. And remember that pretty white Rose of Sharon is in the pot. Uh-oh. And I have a squirrel digging, and you can see the paper white that we planted that shouldn't bloom until spring. Has a lot of growth on it. And no dirt, so I guess I have to come out here with some dirt later. Well, these guys are looking kind of rough in this pot. And of course the Roselle hibiscus is just goo at this point. The gardenia took to that transfer well. It looks nice. I'm really happy. Actually, I think it's happier here. It's got some kind of, what is that? Look, I've never seen that. I guess it's a pod. I'm gonna have to look that up. It must be really happy because I've never had that do that before. It will flower once in the summer, but I've never had it produce an orange pod like that. some more of the pretty wallflowers. I'm so glad I ordered the colored mix that had different colors. I had the yellow before and I do like it, but I'm glad to have a mix of like purple and oranges. I don't see purple. Well, there we go. Is that more purpley? And all of this is wallflowers, and they just kind of do their own thing. I haven't really pruned them too much, done too much, and they just keep producing, reproducing. And they're pretty much evergreen, so I'm happy to have them. Big old dahlia mess here. Got some color on the dianthus, but the flowers are pretty much spent. The feverfew is green and pretty, so I'm going to assume it will be evergreen. However, the flowers are pretty much spent. Probably need to come out here and trim it a bit. Let's go check on that abelia that I've transplanted. Okay, we're up by the side of the house in my little graveyard area. These are blue forget-me-nots that are perennial. Looks like there's some bee balm. That's a hydrangea that will come back, but it looks rough. These mums are dying. More wallflowers. And these are little baby yarrow seedlings. And this is the abelia that we transplanted, and looks perfectly fine to me, so I'm happy about that. These are rain lilies, and I would like to transplant them. I think they'll do better someplace with full sun. This is where I used to have my tomatoes in the barrels. So I did make a compromise with my husband, because I've got more pots here. They're pots I had, but he said, can we make a compromise and put them in the ground? So I'm going to dig a hole, put these 2 boxwoods in the ground, and then I don't know what I'll do with the pots. But I decided to keep these 3 back here together because it's my raspberries. 2 raspberries in front and a mock orange in the back. So I'm going to keep these 3 whiskey planters that have just snapdragon, ground rose, and bee balm. And then I'll get rid of these 2. Then I've got the shrubs in front. I've got the 3 cinnamon girls, the 2 boxwoods, and I'm hoping it'll shield the whiskey barrel planters so that people can't see them. And when I say people, I mean the HOA. And my entryway planters, the Rebecchias obviously took some damage, but they're supposed to be perennial. The violas look just absolutely cute. This is, what was that? Mondo grass. Still looks perfectly happy. Dahlia obviously does not. Some different colored violas. I like this color. Isn't that cute? I'm a purple person, so. And let's see. Rose looks pretty. So pretty. These are my patio peach cuttings that I took. When did I take those? Maybe September, October? They did root. They are fine. I've tried to pull them out. They are absolutely rooted, so they're fine. I think I'll have to move them to the back deck though, because I really need to clean this area up because it looks not acceptable to HOA, I'm sure. Interestingly, I've got all of these straw flower babies that rooted from seed just by blowing in the wind, and they're still alive. I don't know if it's because they're so close to the house, because they should be really, really not cold hardy at all. And everything in that clearance planter I bought that one day, half price, has died except for the Corabelle and the Creeping Jenny. I can't even remember what was in there now. Oh, the Camellias. It was Camellias and it was something else. There's another straw flower. My Boston fern is still hanging on. I really think it's just because it's close to the house. I did not protect it at all when we were cold all those nights. Okay, now we're on the other side of the front porch. The ornamental oregano. Some of it is dying back. Let's see if I can zoom in. But it also has new growth. So it should be perennial and fine for me. I still have these secret hidden strawberry containers here. My husband wants me to get rid of them, but I don't think you can see them from the road, so I don't think I'm going to worry about it. These 2 roses, I thought I was going to take to my friend's house, but I think I'll make room in the backyard for them because they're very sentimental to me, and I'd like to see them instead of just visit until we can move. The rose, the yellow rose, is just looking stunning. So pretty. I wonder if I can see any blooms on there. It would be nice to have a pretty December rose. There is straw flower, Dusty Miller. These are going to go to my friend's house. All of those. Found a couple hidden containers of Siberian irises in the purple and the black container there that I had potted up early this spring, thinking we were going to move sooner than we have, and so I will take those to her house too. They're so pretty. I love those. Love those. This chocolate mint is still looking good. The Corsican mint is not. At least not the parts that are draping. These that are in the soil I think will be fine, but I'm not sure any of this will revive itself. These guys look okay. And now we're back to the top of the driveway with the big mess I need to take care of. I have been getting rid of a lot of stuff and trying to put it away out back, but obviously it is still a mess. So that is what I need to get done today. Right, Tonto? Okay, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great week.